Jared Polin, FroKnowsPhoto.com, and this video is brought to you by the fine people over at GafferPower.com. We use their gaff tape, and if you'd like to try it out yourself, go to GafferPower.com and use the code FRO15 at checkout to get 15% off your order. Speaking of Gaffer Power, they sent us a whole bunch of different gaff tape to try out. There's different colors, different sizes, different shapes. Well, you can make it any shape that you want. You have the little rolls, the thick rolls, the thin rolls, and everything else in between. But now I want to give you a bunch of different ways that you can use gaff tape as a creative. So there's a million different ways that you can use gaff tape. I'd like to hear from you. Leave a comment down below with how you use gaff tape, either practical or for fun. Have you ever wanted to look more discreet when you're out there shooting street photos? Well, one way you can do this is put gaff tape over all of your logos so nobody knows whether you're shooting a Nikon, a Canon, a Sony, a Pentax, or whatever it is that you're shooting. If you have one of those ruby red cameras that Nikon or Canon makes, well, you could use red or gaff tape to put over the logos, or most cameras are black, so you just use black gaff tape over the logos. Here's a practical use that we use gaff tape for here at the Fro Factory. Now, when we need to move tables or move light stands, we like to put down different color gaff tape to signify what goes where and what goes where when we put it back. Yes, that totally does make sense. Or if we had two actors speaking, it would be good to have one color tape on the floor for one actor and another color tape for the other actor. It just makes it easy to put everything back where it belongs or to have people hit their mark. Here's one of the best uses for gaff tape. Have you ever been eating a bag of chips and you wanted to save some for later, but you didn't know how to seal the bag? Well, now you can with gaff tape. Simply amazing. Have you ever left home without your snoot? I know I've left home without a snoot. Well, if you use a flash and you want to make a custom snoot, you can take some black gaff tape, take a cup, put some tape around the outside, around the inside, and you can use it to direct light where you want it to go. Because you can do whatever you want with the gaff tape to control and shape the light coming out of your source. Here's an interesting way that you can use gaff tape. Do you ever find yourself on top of a ladder using screws or bolts or nuts or whatever the heck else you need? Well, now put down some gaff tape on the top, tape your nuts to it, and you'll never lose your nuts again. Another use for gaff tape is miking up your talent or taping microphones to something that you need to tape it to. Now, in this case, I am actually taped up using the hot pink, right? Look at that, it's hot pink. It's hot pink right there. But what you want to be careful about is when you pull it off, it may take some of the hair with you, but me, I don't have a lot of chest hair, so it's not that big of a deal. Have you ever found yourself randomly at a crime scene and you didn't have caution tape? Well, fear no more, because you can get the yellow Gaffer Power tape and you can tape off a section, or if something's laying on the ground and you want to remember where it was, use some yellow gaff tape. Have you ever accidentally switched something from on to off that ruined your shoot? Or have you ever hit from auto to manual? Well, a thing that you can do that has a practical use is take some gaff tape, put it over the switch so you don't accidentally hit it. It definitely comes in handy. Have you ever run out of power on your phone and you wanted to play a game? Or has your Game Boy just died because it's so old? Well, don't worry, you can use gaff tape to make a maze on the floor or even a tic-tac-toe board. Imagine all of the hours of fun you could have for you or a child. How many times have you gone out shooting with a bunch of other photographers and wondered which lens cap is yours if it fell on the floor, or which bag is yours if you have similar bags? Well, what you can use is a different color gaff tape on your lens caps, on your bodies, on your lenses. Anywhere that you can put gaff tape to differentiate your stuff from somebody else's will make it easier to know what gear is yours. Do you ever have that annoying friend that just talks too much? Well, gaff tape is perfect for... You can also use gaff tape to tape up your cables to your light stand so they stay out of the way and nice and organized. You can tape cables to each other so they're nice and organized as well. Or if you have cables running across the ground like you see a lot of times at concerts or on sets and you don't want people tripping over it, you put a whole bunch of gaff tape on there so that people don't fall over it and you don't get sued when somebody gets hurt. Do you want to make your shirts even tighter than the ones that I wear? Well, it's simple. You can use gaff tape to tighten up the back, but this actually has a practical use. If you want to get a tighter shirt on the subject that you're photographing because you don't want wrinkles or you don't want anything wrong with it, you use the gaff tape around the back and boom, you got a tighter shirt. Are you a human lint magnet? Do you have a dog? Do you have a cat? Do you have a ferret? Or do you have a fro? And you find that your clothes has a lot of hair or residue on it, simply wrap some gaff tape around your hands, tap yourself a bunch of times or tap your subject, and it's going to remove the lint nice and easy. Here's a practical use. Have you found yourself at the airport at baggage claim and every single bag that's coming around the turnstile looks exactly the same? Well, a simple practical use for gaff tape is to put it on your bags, to put it on your boxes so it differentiates your bag or your stuff from everybody else's. Have you ever just needed a small amount of gaff tape with you and you didn't need a huge gigunda roll? Well, in the past, I've taken gaff tape and put it around a pen or a pencil so that I had some when I needed it, but Gaffer Power also offers some really small rolls that you can carry around in every bag that you have. Are you ever looking for something to write on to leave somebody a note, maybe a love note? Well, now you can use the white gaff tape or you could use the yellow gaff tape and make it look like a sticky note. Just tear a piece off, put it where you want, and leave that love note like, "I love you, camera." I've heard that if you draw a circle using gaff tape on your floor and you have a cat, that a cat will gravitate towards that circle and sleep in it. Let me know if you try it out and if it works. One of my favorite uses of gaff tape is using arrows to tell me where catering is. Well, that's just one way you could use gaff tape on the ground or on the walls to point you towards catering or point you towards the stage. Or in everyday shooting, you can point your subject in which direction they're supposed to move. So that's a lot of fun and practical uses of gaff tape. And if you haven't left a comment down below for how you use it, go ahead and do that right now. But if you would like to purchase some gaff tape and use the discount code, go to gafferpower.com and use the code FRO15 to save 15% right now. So thank you very much for watching. Jared Polin, FroKnowsPhoto.com. See ya.
Watch this video. Subscribe now. Watch this video.